Hey guys, what's going on? The movie that I seen recently that I actually went in with pretty high expectations to is Not Fade Away, directed by David Chase, who did The Sopranos. But I went in with actually pretty high expectations because I love rock music, and I mean the reviews weren't amazing, but they weren't very bad. So it's just I went in with pretty high expectations. So. That being said, I'm just going to jump right into it. With that being said, I hated this film. I actually thought it was a very, very poor made film, and I did not like it in the slightest. So first thing, just to get it out of the way, the things I did like about it were, I thought the acting in the movie was actually pretty good. There's a few scenes that I did like with James Gandolfini and the lead character. I'm drawing a blank on his name, but I actually thought they had great chemistry, and those were the best scenes of the film. But the worst part is that they were only in 2 or 3 scenes together. So there wasn't much between the two of them. That was the father-son chemistry was what kept this film from being complete shit in my opinion. I also really enjoyed the music. Obviously, a movie when you have a lot of Rolling Stones and just a lot of good music from the 60s, it's always a good soundtrack when you have that. But the original music in the film is very, very good too. There's actually one scene that is, as much as I hate this film, because I do hate this film, there's one scene that could possibly make my top 10 favorite scenes of this year from this movie, because the music is so fucking good. But the problem with it is just there's only a few scenes in this movie that I actually like. But yeah, and then the acting is pretty good too. It's nothing terrible. The main problems with this movie are the lousy direction and the terrible script. So let me get into that a little bit. So the editing in this movie just drove me fucking nuts. And I wouldn't say it was the direct editing, it was more of the director's decision on how it should be edited. This is a movie that goes over a long period of time, but the main problem is, I understand if you want to have a lot of storylines, you want to have a lot of shit. I get that. But try to give me some character development. Don't just jump, because that's what they do. This film jumps too much, and it pisses me off. You'll be in the middle of a scene, and then it'll just jump to another scene. It won't even fit. Like, they could legit ask a question, and then it'll jump right to the next fucking scene. They won't answer the questions. They'll just put that scene in because it was a good scene to them. It just does shit like that. If you've seen the movie, it's just so poorly paced. And that's straight from the editing. It's just a poor film when it comes to pacing issues. It goes over a span of, I want to say 4 years. They don't really jump into it, but the way, if you go by the ages, they say it's at least 4 years, maybe 5. But it's just like, it jumps years every fucking 15 minutes, it seems like. And then they try to develop characters, but the scenes are no longer than 3 minutes. There's probably 70 fucking scenes in this movie, and they're no longer than 3 minutes. They'll cut halfway through a sentence. It's just fucking slow down, man. Slow the fuck down. So I really hated that. That really bothered me. But the next thing that really bothered me was they would talk, and they'd be having these conversations, and it just they're trying to sound artistic, and they're trying to sound edgy with their conversations, and it just makes them sound stupid. Everything in this movie, the storyline-wise, is just stupid. It's a bad word to use, but that's just what it is. It's about fucking nobodies who do nothing, say nothing. They just are full of shit throughout the whole movie. Realistically, these guys want to be a band, but they don't practice for fucking 6 months. I mean, do you expect to go somewhere? I don't know what the fuck this movie was about, man. It's just about people who talk. And then there's a romance in the movie, but they just underdevelop it. They show a few scenes, like, they show them with each other for 3 minutes. Then they cut to him hanging out with the band and smoking fucking weed, and then they cut to him hanging out with the dad, and then they're 6 months into the relationship, and they get into a fight. We can't like feel the chemistry between the two characters when you fucking jump so much. You can't feel the relationship is growing when you only develop them for 5 minutes. Please show some fucking character development. If you want to see them fight, I want to actually feel why they're fighting. I want to know why. You know, it's just so lousy, and that's the thing that bothered me most. With the next thing is the ending of this movie is god awful. I haven't read a single good thing about the ending of this movie. They, like I said, they have so many scenes in this movie. They ask so many questions. They develop so much, and they don't answer. I love ambiguous endings. As you follow me through this YouTube thing, you'll find out that movies with ambiguous endings I love. But this movie's not ambiguous. This ending is flat out fucking stupid. It is one of the worst endings I've ever seen in a movie, ever. Truly. I had the opportunity to see this movie with a Q&A followed by David Chase, and I went to it, but it got full before I could get to the screening. And so I wish I would have asked him. I would have been like, what made you think that this was a good ending? What made you think this movie should have 75 fucking scenes in it? I would have asked him these questions, and I would have loved to see what he said. But this movie was terrible. I just think it's just a god-awful movie. Like I said, though, there's a few things I really enjoyed about it. I like the acting, and I like the chemistry between James Gandolfini and his son. I forget his name. He's going to be a breakout actor. But I really did like those scenes, and there's a few other scenes I liked. But it was just it's so poorly directed. That's my biggest problem. It was just so poorly directed, so poorly written, and so poorly... it's not really the editor's fault, but it was just an edited piece of shit. It's just a shitty edited film. And with that being said, I give this movie a 4 out of 10. I really, really did not like this movie. I like the music, but that's not much. That's not being said. I wouldn't want to rewatch this movie. But, I mean, maybe if you haven't seen the film and you watch this review, you'll see what I'm talking about when you do see it. But that bothered me so much because this film could have been very good if it had a better storyline, but it just wasn't. So check out Not Fade Away. Maybe if any movie that is positive, I think, is always worth a thing. But if you agree with me or if you disagree with me, please leave a comment. I'd love to hear your opinions. If you have a review for this film, check it out or send me a link because I'd love to watch someone else's opinions on it, see how they feel. But yeah, check out Not Fade Away, I guess, or don't see it. I suggest don't see it. But again, any movie that's positive or of this, that's in contention, it's not in contention for anything, but when they want it to be, it's always worth a watch. So check it out, leave a comment, give me a sub. Thank you.